So, hi everybody. This is a 25-minute practice of Hatha Yoga, a gentle stretch, a breath exercise and a short relaxation. So if you can make sure that you've got just your mat in a warm space where you're not going to be interrupted, switch your phones off and close the door and just bring your full attention to your practice this morning. So we're going to come down into Shavasana for our first posture. Now, those of you that know me, you know that I don't normally do the postures with you, but because we're doing this remote class, I'm going to do all the postures with you, all the exercises with you, so that you can lift your head and have a look and make sure that you're doing what I'm doing. So we're going to come down into Shavasana to begin with. So coming down nice and gently, don't rush, there's no rush, never any rush to get down into this Shavasana posture. First of all, we're just going to roll down and let our lower back sink into the mat. Then we're going to have our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. Arms beside the body, palms facing upwards. Maybe just separate those feet out and those knees so they're about a hip's width apart. First of all, we're just going to let the lower back sink towards the mat so that we can really just loosen through that back of the waistband and then release that. Then we're going to straighten first one leg and then the other. Into your full Shavasana. Now, if your lower back's talking to you already, just come back to knees bent. But if you're happy to be in Shavasana, close your eyes. And we're just going to take a couple of really releasing breaths. Now, the releasing breath is in through the nose, and we're going to sigh that breath out through the mouth. Make a sound if you want to. You can shout it out. If you're in the house on your own and there's no one going to be worrying about you shouting, then you can, if you've got people in the house or you want to be a little quieter, good. So now I'd like you just to gently tilt your pelvis so your lower back moves towards the mat, but bend first one knee, then the next. Then bring that first knee over your chest, then the second, and we're in Uttanasana. So we can have a little gentle cradle rock from side to side, rolling that lower back into the mat. Maybe now we'll just place our hands lightly on top of our knees and we'll roll around on the back of the pelvis. So circling the knees, just tiny circles, knees together. First one way, then the other. Coming back to stillness. We're going to let this left knee and foot drop back towards the ground, so that left knee still bent, the left foot's on the ground. We've got our right hand lightly on top of the right knee, and we're just going to circle that knee. Make these circles as large as you can, but comfortably large. That left hip, the left side of the pelvis, that left glute, or glutes, need to stay in contact with the mat, so we're not coming into a twist to allow this to happen. Nice, big, mindful circles. Let's change direction, let's go the other way. And again, we're not pulling the leg or pushing it, we're allowing that leg to circle sensibly, comfortably. Okay. So we're focusing the attention on the knee, but actually what we're doing is we're working with the hip. Come to stillness and just encourage that knee to come in towards the chest. Take hold of the shin with both hands now. And what we're going to do is, as we breathe out, we're going to lift our head and shoulders. As we breathe in, we're going to lower our head and shoulders. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift on the out breath, lower on the in breath. One more. When you've lowered your head and shoulders and place that right foot back down onto the mat, we'll have the left knee over the chest. We're going to circle that knee, again keeping this right hip in contact with the ground. The knees creating a circle, the hip is what's working for us. A couple more in this direction. Remember to keep breathing. One full breath in and out. Should be one full revolution of the knee at least. Maybe there will be 2 breaths there as you're circling that knee. Coming to a gentle stop, taking hold of that leg on the shin with both hands, encourage the knee into the chest. As you breathe out, lift your head and shoulders. As you breathe in, lower back down. We're going to do that 3 times in total, lifting on the out breath, lowering on the in breath. Last one. Good, let go of that leg, place that left foot back down onto the mat. We're going to have our feet and knees hips width apart. We're going to have our heels nice and close to our base. We're going to have our hands down beside the body, arms stretching down beside the body, palms facing down, fingertips stretching down towards the bottom of the mat. Here we're going to just relax our shoulders so the space between our shoulder blades is moving towards the mat. We're going to bring the chin down towards the chest a little way, not all the way, we're not lifting the head, but we're just moving that so we're lengthening through the top of the spine. As we breathe out, we're going to tilt the pelvis, so the pelvis is just tilting back here, and we're pushing into the mat. We're not doing any more than that. As we breathe in, we're releasing all of that. Breathing out, tilt the pelvis, push the lower back into the mat, push a little bit into the feet, no more than that. Release on the in-breath. Let's do that again. Breathe out, tilt the pelvis, push gently into the feet, release on the in-breath. Okay, let's take that to the next stage. Breathe out, tilt the pelvis, keep that tilt in the pelvis, push into the mat with your feet, carry on through into your in-breath, just let your bottom become light. So we're not lifting, we're just allowing our bottom to float. Breathe out and release. Let everything soften, these glutes soften, the pelvis goes back to its neutral position. We're not pushing into our feet anymore. Next out breath, tilt the pelvis, push into the feet. As we breathe in, we're lifting, and this time we'll lift a little higher. So maybe your bottom comes all the way off the mat. Breathe out, lowering back down, let everything be light. Next in breath, tilt the pelvis, push into the mat with the feet, let your base float a little higher. As we breathe out, let's lower back down, but let's lower back down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Come to that neutral position, let everything go. If you need to take a whole breath here to allow things to settle and release, go ahead and do that. When you're ready to breathe out again, tilt that pelvis. Keep that tilt in your pelvis. Breathe in, push into your feet, let your bottom float. This time we're going to lift a little higher. Breathing out, rolling that spine back into the mat. Release the tilt in the pelvis. Next, out breath. So we've got a little bit of a gap there to let everything happen in that in-breath. Then as we breathe out, we tilt that pelvis. Keep that lovely, planting that waistband into the mat, that lovely tilt. As we breathe in, we're going to peel our spine all the way off the mat. As we breathe out, we're going to peel that spine back down onto the mat. Keep the tilt in the pelvis, keep everything engaged. Lift on the next in-breath. Lower on the out-breath. Keep it all engaged. Lift as you breathe in. Lower as you breathe out. Once you're all the way down now, let everything go. I'm going to take this to the next level, so just have a break now. Maybe watch this first one with me, and then join me on the second. So, tilt the pelvis. As you breathe in, peel your spine all the way up as far as you can go. As you breathe out, lower a little way. So we've still got this space underneath our base. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, coming down. Only a little way. Breathing in, coming up, last time. This time as we breathe out, we go all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming back Next time we're ready to breathe in, join me this time if you didn't join me previously. Tilt the pelvis, breathing in, peel that spine all the way off the mat. Breathing out, come down a little way. Breathing in, come back up. Breathing out, come down a little way. Breathing in, coming back up. Breathing out, down a little way, all the way back up. Last time now, we're coming all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Get that back planted onto the mat, let everything go, releasing the glutes, release that pelvis, release your shoulders, bring first one knee and then the next up over your chest, have a gentle cradle rock from side to side. Well done. Okay, so planting those feet back down onto the mat, we're going to roll over onto our right side and come up into seated. Okay, at this point, if you want a blanket or a towel or a block to sit on, go ahead and get that. If you're comfortable sitting like this, then we're going to have our feet straight out in front of us. We're going to sit on those sit bones, so maybe you just need to move some of that flesh out from underneath those sit bones so that we can find a nice comfortable position to be in. So we know we've definitely got the ground underneath us. We're going to push our heels away from us, bring our big toes back towards our knees. Now our legs are quite active here, and I want you to stay on these sit bones so the body's growing up tall out of those sit bones. The legs are very nicely active. We're going to keep this left leg active like this, pushing the heel away. We're going to bend the right knee. We're going to hug that right knee into the body. Okay, just letting that hip release a little bit here so we can do this. Don't rock back, stay on those sit bones. When you're ready, you can cross that right foot over the left leg. So now we're taking hold of the right knee with the left hand, and this right hand is going to go on the ground behind us or on our lower backs. Now, if you're going to put it on the ground behind you, don't drop back into it. Okay, we want to be sitting up tall. Think about having a string, that invisible silver string in the top of your head. So we've got this hand round behind us, either on the lower back or on the ground. We're going to breathe in and sit up tall. We're going to breathe out and turn gently to the right. Breathing in and coming back to centre. Breathing out and turning to the right. Breathing in, coming back to centre. So the movement starts at the waist. Then the chest, then the shoulder, and then we look over that shoulder. Then the movement starts at the waist again as we come back to centre. Remember, we keep this flow going. We really don't need to move fast. There's no rush. We don't have a quota of the amount of twists we need to do here. The next time we're rounding in that twist, we're going to stay. Let's just take a moment. Drop the shoulders. Tuck the chin in a little bit and close your eyes. Bring your attention back to your breathing. Take a moment just to settle. Now the out breath is where you'll find some space to maybe move a little deeper into your twist, or maybe just find some comfort in that twist you're in. If you don't like closing your eyes, just lower your gaze, bring your attention inwards, let your breath lead you. One more last deep breath in. Let's sigh that breath out as we move deeper into the twist. As we breathe in, we'll come back to centre. Now what we're going to do is we're going to uncross those legs, we're going to straighten that right leg, and we're going to give that right leg a little bit of a rock and a roll, so we're releasing in that leg. We're going to bring our attention back to our upright seated position. We're going to push our heels away, bring those big toes back towards our knees, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bend that left knee. Hug that left leg in towards the body. Let that left hip release a little. And when you're ready, we're going to cross that left foot over the right leg, keeping that right leg active. We're going to take hold of this left knee with our right hand. This left hand is going to go on the ground behind us. Now, if on the last side you had the hand on your lower back, then keep it there. Place your left hand on the lower back like you did with the right hand. If you had it on the ground, remember we're not dropping back into it. Drop the shoulders. Breathe in and sit up tall. Breathe out and turn to the left. Breathe in and come back to centre. Breathe out and turn to the left. Breathe in and come back to centre. Keep that breath flowing, keep the movement flowing with the breath. Remember the movement starts at the waist and the chest and the shoulder and the head. And then coming back, we're moving in the same way. Next time you're rounding in that twist, I'm going to invite you to stay there. Maybe here you'll close your eyes or lower your gaze and just turn your attention towards your breath. Allow the out breath to lead you a little deeper into this twist without forcing or trying. Or maybe you're just going to find a little bit more comfort. Remember to breathe. The breath is what leads us deeper into the posture. This last breath, breathe in through the nose and sigh that breath out through the mouth. And as you breathe in again, come back to the central position. Uncross those legs. We're going to give those legs a little bit of a rock and a roll, just to release anything that's going on in those hips. Excellent, well done. Okay, so coming back into this lovely upright seated position, what I'd like you to do is bring the soles of your feet together, and then we're just going to walk our base towards those heels. Okay, so you might think, why aren't I just getting hold of those feet and moving them in? And see where my knees are here. Slide those feet away. And then as I do that, it may not be very obvious, but this knee's a lot higher than this knee. So my pelvis is twisted. So anything that's happening here is happening unevenly. If we do it like this, and just shift back a bit, otherwise I'll be off my mat. Do it like this, and we walk our base towards our heels. We get to a point where our pelvis is in a neutral position. My knees are even. If they're available to you, take hold of your ankles. If your ankles aren't available to you, then just take hold of your knees. Let your hips release and relax. So there's no forcing here. We're not doing anything to push this posture on further. What I'd like you to do is, if you do have hold of your ankles, maybe you can reach down and take hold of your feet. And then I'd like you to place your thumbs on the inside of on the soles of your feet, so your fingertips are on the top of your foot, and just open those feet out gently. So almost like you're opening out a book. Okay. That should be increasing the stretch. Don't push here, don't force, don't bounce. Bring the feet back together. We'll just hook our fingertips of our index finger in between our big toe and our second toe, and just bring the elbows towards the knees. We're not folding forwards, we're not bending forwards, we're just letting this hip opener happen with the breath. Good, then we'll release. Bring those knees back together, slide those legs away from you, come back off those sit bones and just give those legs a bit of a rock and a roll. Excellent, well done. So we're coming up into a standing position now. Come up into standing however it works for you. So this isn't a set pace. I'm going to come up through downward dog, and if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. If that's not how you do it, then find your way up to standing. Sort your clothes out. I know when you get up off the floor, there's always that, let's get the t-shirt back where it should be, let's get the trousers back where they should be. So, now we're all into Tadasana, or at least we're nearly there into Tadasana. Now, I can see myself, which is unusual, because normally I'm looking at a class, but I can see myself in the camera and my feet are like this. They're at 10 to 2. That's not where they need to be for Tadasana. I need to have the inside edge of my feet parallel. Okay, so that then keeps my pelvis in a good neutral position. I'm softening my knees. You can't probably see that because I've got loose trousers on, but I'm not bending my knees. The knees are not locked back. There's no pressure in the back of the knee. I'm just softening. I'm letting the length of my spine grow now. So remember, I'm taking my base down towards the ground. This is happening from my waist. I'm taking from my waist up to the crown of my head, is floating up towards the ceiling. Excellent. We are going to just take a few lovely deep down belly breaths here. Breathing in through the nose, breathing in and creating a lovely big expansive belly. Breathing out, letting the tummy drop back. One more. Let's drop down into our feet. Okay, then bring our hands together at the heart centre. We're going to float the hands above the head, and we're going to create the biggest circle around as we can with those hands. Palm facing up, hands coming back above the head, back to the heart centre. Keep it going with your flow of breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Keep it going. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more. Excellent. Okay, so just letting the hands stay there at the heart centre, let your elbows drop. We're going to take our hands above the head again. This time I'm going to go over to my left. So I'm stretching up through the right hand side of the body. Breathing in, I'm coming back up to centre. Breathing out, I'm going the other way to my right. Breathing in, I'm coming back up to centre. Bring those hands back to the heart centre. Breathe in, breathe out, in, out. Come back up to centre, hands back to the heart centre. We're going to do that one more time. Take the hands up. I'm going to go over to the left. This time we're going to let that left arm drop. We're going to let that left hand be heavy. That left shoulder's dropping towards the ground. That right hand stretching across. And we're going to move our hips across to the right. So creating that lovely banana shape. Breathe in. Let's come back up. Swap. Right hand drops towards the ground. Left hand stretching across above my head. Then I'm going to move those hips across to the left. Dropping that right shoulder. Lovely stretch up through the left hand side of the body. Breathing in, coming back to the centre. Okay, so the next posture that we're going to do is a balance. So if you need to step against the wall, so you've got some of that, I'm safe, you know, I've got that wall behind me. I'd like the wall to be behind you, not to your side. And I'd like you to still be able to see me. So sort that out now. What do you need? The wall behind you, the mat under your feet. Coming back to your Tadasana. Remember, feet together, hips width apart. Soft knees, lengthen spine, soften the jaw, let the shoulders drop. Okay. We're going to bring all our weight over onto our left foot. We're going to let that right foot be light and we're going to lift the right knee in front of us. We're going to turn that right knee out to the side and we're going to cross the right thigh across the left thigh. Okay, now just notice how I've shifted my right foot so the toes of the right foot are touching up against the outside edge of my left foot. This knee is opening the hip. Okay, so the knee is not in front of me, it's out to the side. Think about tree. You know, when we're doing tree, we have the knee out to the side. This is a very similar thing, but we've got those feet crossed. The toes and the ball of the foot of the right foot are touching the ground. We're going to float our arms above the head. We're going to have our palm of our right hand facing forwards, fingertips spread wide. We're going to take hold of the wrist of the right hand with the left hand, and we're going to pull, and we're going to move that right hand across to the left. We're going to open up through the right side of the waist and we're going to drop our left shoulder. Okay, so this may be enough of a balance for you this morning or this afternoon or this evening, whenever you're doing this class, but if you'd like to take it one step further, we will turn. There we go, see, look, it's challenging my balance already. We turn and look to the left. And then if you're happy to, you can look down towards the mat. And there we are, temple dancer. If there's some wobble going on, that's great because that's really good for the joints. Look up again, look forwards, stretch those arms up and release them, uncross the legs and give them a bit of a shake, a bit of a rattle and a roll. And back to that central position, that Tadasana. Going to bring all our weight onto the right foot. Going to lift that left knee, bear with me, left knee up in the air, turn that knee out to the side, place that left foot back onto the mat. We've got that knee opening up the hip. We're going to float our arms above the head. We are going to take hold of the left wrist with our right hand, and we're going to move that left hand across to the right. Okay, drop the right elbow. Lovely, opening up through the left hand side of the waist. We're going to turn and look down towards the ground. Temple dancer, balancing on the right foot, but the left foot is involved in this. I would say it's about 70-30 balance between the two, or split between the two. Let's look forwards again. Let's stretch up and release and let everything go. Okay, give those hands a shake, give those shoulders a shake, give those hips a shake, give those feet a shake. Come back to your Tadasana. Soften the knees and come into a beautiful forward bend. Excellent. Push into the feet. Come all the way back. Okay, so the next video will be linked to this one for your breathing and your relaxation. Thank you for joining me. If that's all you're going to do, just remember that the breathing and the relaxation are normally about 10 minutes long, so it's just another little practice you can add to this one. Thank you.